Hello, everyone. So a little bit about me. I trained as a doctor, pediatrics. I was a public health scientist. I worked for the CDC during the pandemic. And now I exclusively do this. Comedy shows at sex museums that are also educational. This is the only one in the world. I gotta rework that career plan a little bit. But doing this made me think about how truly crazy it is that I'm here. I mean, I grew up Catholic in conservative Texas in the 1990s. Not exactly a bastion of sexual openness, I'll say. I had a lot of shame about my body and about sex and my body being used for sex. And I certainly didn't have anything that represented a comprehensive sex education. Basically, the only thing I learned was, don't have sex, you won't die of AIDS. Not very helpful. No, that's not true. Actually, freshman year of high school, Coach Draper did show us how to put a condom on a banana. So I was all set the first time I had sex. I went and saran wrapped every fruit in her house. I hit the veggie section. She had baby carrots. It took me fucking forever. But I was really curious about sex, but I didn't have access to the porn that the kids have nowadays. For better or worse, that's how everyone's learning about sex. You know, for me, it was a little bit different. What I had was what I think how God wanted us to learn about sex, actually. VHS recordings of softcore pornography, recorded off of late night premium cable. Truly, truly amazing. So if you weren't part of this golden age, basically what it was, it's the sex you would see in R-rated movies. These were low budget. They were actors who avoided community theater by showing their boobs and their butt. And yeah, so sex was the whole plot, actually. Everything was simulated. They didn't show very much at all. So not very useful if you're planning years and years of mighty sexual conquests like I was. It was a little bit hard. But I did see some things sometimes that did intrigue me. Like I saw this man, he took his mouth and he went to the lady's lower parts, her lady parts, you know? It's like, oh my God, I didn't know you could do that. I was specifically told you could not do that. I was in middle school, Eric said he had a friend who gave his girlfriend blowjobs. And Jared came in and said, you cannot give a girl a blowjob. He seemed to have the best information. That's all I had really to go with. So that's, you know, that's all I knew. But, you know, watching that happen on TV, I was like, oh man, I whatever's happening there, I couldn't see it. Couldn't see whatever's happening. I wanted to be part of it. And I was like, how, you know, when I get my first opportunity, how complicated is it gonna be, really? I gotta make a quick call. I don't know, everything was like folding in on itself. It's like the infinity symbol. I don't know, where do you start when you're dealing with the eye of infinity, Jared? But I was intrigued, I wanted to go in closer, so I did. And nobody warned me, you know, about that overwhelming sense of majestic awe I feel at staring at it for the first time, the portal for human consciousness. Into the universe, you know. Nobody gave me the warning. I guess some of you might have thought I was going to say no one warned me about the smell. Trust me, that was covered. That's the one thing that was covered. Bro, you're going to go down there. You're going to have to deal with that funk down there, that terrible funk. Really? Because I can smell your balls right now. And we're in church in December. Merry Christmas, Jared. But for me, after decades of futility, I decided to kick things up a little bit. I joined a kink dating site. Yeah, I met with this woman online. She told me she's into humiliating her partners. I said, I worked in medicine and government for 20 years. I can't imagine what you bring to the table, but I'll give you a shot. She's like, no, I want to degrade you. I want you to feel so low. I said, oh, okay, I can just write for a while. She didn't believe me. She sent me in, jumped on a Zoom 30 minutes later. I had the computer cord wrapped around my neck. I'm trying to stab my wrist with a pen. It's like, it's just fucking jokes, you linear, thinking, predictable piece of shit. She's like, no. She called that a red light activity for us. But she was so impressed. She's like, you did so well. What do you want now? What would be so hot for you? And I said, I don't know. I guess deep down I've always thought it'd be super hot to blow up a data center? I don't know, do you have a warehouse job? Guys, I might have found my manic pixie arsonist. Thanks everyone, I'm Mike Cody.